When the world's biggest streamer, iShow Speed, lost his mind in a Kenyan Matatu, I knew I had to see if the hype was real. Speed is touring Africa to find the world's craziest energy, and Nairobi's moving nightclubs are legendary for their booming bass in neon light. This isn't a nightclub, it's a Matatu. Think flashing lights, booming bass, and screens everywhere. Buckle up, we're about to show you a side of Nairobi's Matatus you never knew existed. But is it actually a party on wheels or just pure chaos? Alright guys, today we're jumping straight into the madness that is Kenya's Matatu. Joining us on our today's tour, welcome today's host, my very good friend, Baru.
Hello, how are you? Welcome back to another great video. Today we're going to test out the Matatu lifestyle of Nairobi, Kenya.
Those wondering what Matatu is, a Matatu is the affordable ride for everyone. A lively, privately run minibus or van that carries folks along fixed routes for little money. Forget first class, forget Uber. Here, everyone squeezes in. Rich, poor, doesn't matter. You're all equal passengers in chaos. It's so democratic that anyone can hop on or off at any stage, drop and pick, as long as the Matatu travels that way. One hand on your phone, windows locked tight, because in one blink, boom, it's gone. And the makangas, these dead devils, hang on doors like action movie stars while the bus is flying down the road. This isn't just transport, it's survival, it's culture, it's pure adrenaline. Let's go, I'm pumped for this ride. We're putting them into 4 easy tiers. Tier 1, the budget kings. These are the cheapest of the cheap. Tier 2, the middle class heroes fares here are a bit more comfortable. Tier 3, the superior rides, aka nganyas. Tier 4, the premium experience.
And it's my first time doing this, so I hope I do it justice and I keep you people happy. So sit back and let's enjoy the video.
Through each Matatu tier, we are going to test the comfortability, the entertainment, classiness, and overall value for my cash. Was it really worth the fare I paid?
I asked my friends on the internet, how do you know it's a Kenyan Matatu? And the comments they gave me were very funny and juicy. So to get more, make sure you watch up to the end.
Ever paid full price to sit on a wooden plank while someone else chills in a VIP seat? That's Nairobi's Matatu life. Unpredictable, wild, and full of surprises. And trust me, our next ride will shock you. Let's take that ride. To jumpstart our tour is the cheap tier. This is where it all begins, at the bottom tier. Just raw, everyday Nairobi hustle. Let's find out how it holds up. Right in front of us is the classic 14-seater, the kind of Matatu that doesn't need to try too hard.
If you will rarely find the youths in this Matatu, using this Matatu. They will use the Matatu only kama mwezi kwa kona, you know what I mean? Because it's a bit cheaper compared to the other Matatus.
It is what it is. Cheap, basic, no frills. Fare, 20 to 50 Kenyan shillings, 0.13 to 0.33 US dollars.
Did you know that Matatus were once illegal?
Yeah, these rides that you enjoy now were once illegal. Back in the 1950s, driving one could get you arrested. Why? Because they were pirate taxis, competing with official buses without any licenses. But everything changed in 1973 when they were finally legalized by Kenya's first president, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. From illegal street runners to the heartbeat of the nation, that is one spectacular evolution.
Maybe you knew or maybe you didn't, but if you did not know, nowadays conductors will be trying to soothe you to enter into the Matatus, wanakuongelesha poa, telling you the fare, but during the earlier days, Matatus were illegal and you could be arrested just traveling in a Matatu.
We hopped into one that looked pretty decent on the inside, and I mean wow, the seats were super comfy. There was even a bit of graffiti art smeared under the roof, giving it that cool Nairobi vibe, you know? Now we were among the first people to get in, so we had to chill a bit as the makenga, that's the guy who collects fare and calls people in, went up and down shouting. You see that wooden board right there? Yeah, that one, it's called the Sambaza. And get this, the Matatu is never considered full until someone sits on that Sambaza wood.
Our friend Dom254 said that, you know, it's a Kenyan Matatu, when the makanga will tell you to.
I'm not even kidding. Basically, there's a space between two side-by-side seats that allows people to move to the back seats. That's where they place the wooden board and boom, someone sits on it like it's a normal seat. Why?
I deliberately sat at the seats closest to the door just to test out Dom's theory.
Dom254 said, you will know it's a Kenyan Matatu when the makanga tells you to move so that he can share a seat with you. I mean, I just paid for this seat and I deserve to sit comfortably. Do you guys agree?
I wish I had listened to Dom. I was so squeezed. When it comes to comfortability, this Matatu was not comfortable at all. We had to get in and off just to pave way to other passengers.
We had to get on and off each and every time just to pave way for those who are moving to the back or alighting from the Matatu.
So for the comfortability, I'll give this Matatu 4 out of 10.
We asked, how do you know it's a Kenyan Matatu? And oh boy, the answer's pure comedy gold. Lucy said, you know it's a Kenyan Matatu when you sit on a sambaza and still pay the same amount as the person chilling on a VIP seat. Haki wa Kenya, sambaza should come with a discount. If my left cheek is hanging in the air, I should pay half fare amanam nagani.
And for entertainment, there was no entertainment, there was no music in this Matatu. I was sitting next to someone, but we were so quiet. I think we need to normalize something. We need to start talking to strangers and just knowing how they are, because these strangers could be your sisters. A survey that was carried out in Nigeria.
This was proven true after an annual test done in Nigeria proved that 25% of men tested were not biological fathers of their children. A funny world we live in.
Entertainment wise, the mat was so silent. I had to entertain myself looking outside the window.
Guys, we had an errand to run at Nong Racecourse, so we hopped onto the cheapest Matatu heading there. As we cruised along Nong Road, you can really see the upgrades, smooth tarmac, bright street lights, and some really beautiful modern buildings.
So when it comes to entertainment, I'll give this Matatu a 3 out of 10. Security-wise, the Matatu was a 10 out of 10. Though we were so compressed together, there were no cases of theft in this Matatu. So security-wise, the Matatu was a 10 out of 10.
We paid 30 Kenyan shillings for our fare, which is about 23 cents in dollars, and I say this is a great value for my money. And offices lining the road now, and the whole place feels clean and well developed. That ride didn't have the I Show Speed vibe we're looking for. On to the next one as we hunt for the best Matatu experience.
That's all for the cheap tier Matatu. Let's head on to our next Matatu, which is the mid tier. See you next.
An average Kenyan earns about 25,000 shillings a month. Now stretch that to cover rent, food, and daily fare to work. It's tough. So if you're looking for a ride that won't drain your pocket, this next Matatu has your back. Clean, calm, and budget friendly. No hype, just a smooth, safe trip that respects your hustle. This might just be your new go-to ride. Ever wondered what really happens in Kenyan Matatus? As we test crazy rides, beware! Phones get snatched through open windows in traffic in seconds.
Inform anyone you are traveling in a Matatu and they'll advise you to take care of your belongings, because Matatus are highly respected of theft.
So stay alert, guard your phone, wallet, and always keep your things tight. Let's go!
Are we going to encounter the same?
So the next Matatu ride we experience falls right in the middle. The mid-tier, or what you call the budget tier.
In this video, I was a bit reluctant and hesitant. I came across an article that stated that earlier we had incidents of bedbugs infesting Matatus.
An investigation highlighted that many Matatus were found to be infested with bedbugs.
Bedbugs ni kunguni. For those who know kungunis, these are not things to play with.
The bedbugs hid in torn, dirty seats and spread as passengers moved from one Matatu to another.
When you get to your house, you better get out of that house just to get rid of them.
Commuters complained of bites, itching and fear, with some avoiding Matatus completely. Now these ones, they're not too flashy, not too plain, just Balance, the price, pocket friendly. You're not breaking the bank, but you're also not boarding the cheapest ride on the road. The graffiti, you'll spot maybe a name or a short phrase on the side. Nothing wild like full cartoon characters or giant murals. It's just enough to catch your eye, but not scream for attention. Some of them come with glowing lights or a little bass in the speakers, but others completely chilled. Just you, your seat, and the road. You might even catch some soft reggae or gospel playing in the background. No DJ turning up in the back, just a calm vibe. And the best part, they still move. These matatus are known to keep time and get you where you're going without all the drama. So tell me, would you ride in one of these, or are you team extra everything? Let me know in the comments. The first Matatu we boarded was completely empty, and it was going to take a while to fill up, so we got off and looked for another one that was ready to leave.
Welcome to the Meteor Matatu, a Matatu that respects your money and gives you the value.
I would say this Matatu was quite decent. The seats were comfortable, and at least now I had my own seat.
This Matatu was very comfortable. There was enough leg room for me to move around, and I was comfortable sitting. We had a space that someone could pass, not like the other Matatu, the cheap tier Matatu, where I had to get out of the Matatu just to allow someone to get into the Matatu.
The seats were a little bit old but comfortable. Comfortability, I would say it's also a 7 out of 10. The inside of the Matatu had some posters and pictures of football players. This Matatu had a big TV at the front, and there was music from the sound system. Finally, no boring was to be experienced.
So entertainment wise, I'll give this Matatu 8 out of 10.
We paid 70 Kenyan shillings as the fare, which is about 54 cents dollars. And the driver here was also cautious, though he did speed up a couple of times. The tour was safe, and we had no instances of theft, something that Matatus are famously known, something that we will experience later in this video.
So I would say, for the value of your money, the mid-tier Matatu takes care of your money. For the value of my money, I'll give the Matatu 8 out of 10.
I'll be real, this ride is only meeting the hype halfway. The music is here, but it's definitely not that booming bass I was promised. There's some graffiti and a few neon lights, but the energy is actually pretty chill. It's a decent ride, but it's definitely not the wild party on wheels that Speed showed the world. We were heading to Nairobi CBD, eager to try out Kenya's newest transport babies. Quiet, shiny road gems that glide by so smoothly people pause just to stare. They look fresh, rare and precious, like the future rolling past you. These babies are still few on the road, and the ones you spot are always full, packed with curious riders. Nairobi CBD felt like the best place to catch one, where the city's pulse meets these beautiful new rides.
Welcome back. Our next Matatu is Nganya Matatu. This is where Matatu go crazy when it comes to lighting, when it comes to graffiti, when it comes to the sound.
Ever seen a moving nightclub on wheels? Welcome to Nairobi's world of Matatus. Now buckle up as we dive into the third tier, what I like to call the full-blown Matatu. Now we're talking VIP, fare above 80 Kenyan shillings. That's anything over 53 cents an hour, because this isn't your usual ride. Oh no, this is where things get crazy, colorful, and absolutely out of control in the best way possible. So, the third tier Matatu we boarded today is called Kendrick. Yeah, Kendrick as in Kendrick Lamar. And as the name suggests, this Matatu is the real GOAT.
Heading into this ride, we were a bit skeptical and afraid. This is after receiving Judy's text that said,
Judy 18 reminded us of the danger. You know it's a Kenyan Matatu when someone's phone gets snatched. You blink once and hear, "Ai, simu yangu." Hold your phone like it's your last born child. First off, the graffiti. Man, these aren't just any scribbles on a van. No way. Flames licking the sides, Tupac's face staring you down like a legend. We're talking full-on street art masterpieces. Bright colors screaming to be noticed. It's like each Matatu is shouting, "Look at me, I'm the king of the road."
like the Matatu that I was in had the pictures of the famous rapper Kendrick Lamar.
I mean, Kendrick is the GOAT, right? GOAT as in greatest of all time, public transport edition. Sorry though, Drake is my GOAT, no beef, okay? Maybe just a little. The inside was decked out with Kendrick posters from front to back. You'd think we were heading to one of his concerts. And as a Drake fan, I won't lie, I felt a bit jealous. Like, is there a Drake Matatu out there? And if it exists, is it this lit? Comment if you've seen one.
As you can see, this Matatu is very colorful, filled everywhere with Kendrick Lamar's pictures. So when it comes to classiness, the Matatu was so classy. So I'll give the Matatu, when it comes to classiness, 10 out of 10.
This Matatu was a whole club on wheels. I swear the music was so loud, I felt the bass in my chest, like the speakers were installed right inside my brain. My eardrums almost resigned. And the lights, oh, the lights, these rides are lit up like movie clubs on wheels, neon strips, LED bursts, flashing underglow, you name it. Step into one of these babies at night and you feel like you've entered a party zone. Speed was just in one of these yesterday, and I finally get why he was screaming. You don't just sit in a Matatu, you experience it. The sound system. Oh my, the sound system. The music is so loud, so boomy. You don't just hear it, you feel it. It's like your chest is the drum. The bass drops and your soul jumps. You can't help but move.
When it comes to also entertainment, we had a lot of loud music. The music was too loud. It was like the speakers were installed in my stomach. I could feel the sound in my gut.
Have you ever seen a Matatu with so many screens? Music videos everywhere. It's 10 a.m. in Nairobi, but inside here it feels like midnight at the club. The energy is pure adrenaline. You can't be bored in this ride. The only thing missing, maybe a bar to grab a cold drink.
Crazy. Kenya showed me so much love, and I really love Kenya, Aboriako. To all my Kenyan fans, I love y'all, man. I'll be 100% back to Kenya.
I finally get why I Show Speed was losing his mind in here.
My Kenya visit was so...
It's been streaming across 20 different African countries, but this one stream in Kenya, it completely broke his records. Before he landed in Nairobi, Speed was sitting at 47.6 million subscribers. After just one legendary day in the 254, vibing in Matatus and meeting the fans, he shot straight to a massive 48 million. That's right, Speed gained over 360,000 subscribers in a single day just because of the Kenyan energy. It was officially his most watched stream. Now I gotta tell you, this whole experience perfectly explains why when we asked, how do you know it's a Kenyan Matatu? Our friend Tom001 dropped the funniest truth bomb. A Matatu without fancy graffiti and loud music is not a Kenyan Matatu. Let's be honest, if your Matatu doesn't have flames, Tupac, and a bass that shakes your soul, that's not really a Matatu ride, it's just a ride. Trust me, it's an experience like no other. Stay tuned because we're just getting started.
So when it comes to entertainment, I'll give the Matatu 10 out of 10. But if you are old, kindly ignore the Matatus.
Though I'm sure the older, more mature crowd might see things a little differently. Now let me rate this Matatu real quick. Check mark. Comfort, 10 out of 10. I could stretch my legs and even dance a little. Vibes, 100%. Everyone inside was smiling like it's a road trip to heaven. Only fail, overloading. Some people were standing like it's a rally. But that's a Kenyan Matatu for you. It's never full. Unless there's a copperhead. In the end, Kendrick the Matatu really is the GOAT. Drake fans, we need to step up. Have you ever boarded a Matatu this lit? Team Kendrick or Team Drake? Drop your stories in the comments. Here's what happened. Alright, so here's what happened. The Matatu was in motion, and you know when it's moving, it's hard for anyone to walk up or down the aisle. Suddenly, one young man pretended to be drunk. He fell on a woman who was seated. She felt sorry for him, even helped him stand up. People saw it, but no one suspected anything. What we didn't know, his friend had already taken the woman's phone. They both alighted at the next stop. A few minutes later, the woman reached into her bag and her phone was gone. So friends, always stay alert in a Matatu. Even when things look normal, not everyone is who they pretend to be. Enjoy the ride, but don't switch off your mind. Stay sharp, stay safe.
Shout out going out to Alikiba and Bien. Their new song Finale is doing a lot of wonders on the internet. The song has finally hit 10 million views in 10 days. This is something new, something that has never happened to the Kenyan industry of music. Bien, shout out going out to you. Thank you for the good job and keep on carrying the Kenyan music on your back. Now back on to our trip.
You know our classic Matatus? For years, they've been running on fuel, which is packed with carbon. When those engines roll, they use a process called combustion, literally burning that fuel and pumping dirty smoke into our streets. That's pollution, and it's hitting our environment hard. Great news. Did you know you can now board electric buses in Kenya? The first ones rolled out in 2022. I'm honest, I've never been on one myself, and I've got lots of questions, like, is the ride the same vibe as the usual Matatu or totally different? If you're as curious as I am, join me on our next ride.
We are here. We are in the middle of Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, just to try out to the new babies of Nairobi. The new babies of the Matatu industry in Kenya are the electric buses. These are so new. They were introduced in Kenya in 2022. We want to see how these Matatus operate, the style and the mood.
All the previous Matatus we explored earlier had makangas standing outside, each one bursting with energy and determination, calling out destinations at the top of their voices. They competed to catch the attention of passers-by, waving their hands, tapping on the sides of the vehicles and rhythmically shouting the fare and route as if performing a familiar street symphony. But this bus was different. No one stood outside calling out its destination or announcing how much the journey would cost. It sat quietly at the stage, doors open, its engine humming softly, a calm contrast to the lively commotion surrounding it. Getting a seat on one of these is a mission because electric buses are still pretty rare. So we had to head into the heart of Nairobi's CBD to catch this majestic ride. The second I step in, I'm shocked. The mood is so cool and cozy. It's the first time I've felt this way on the entire tour. Just look at this long, clean walkway stretching all the way to the back. These seats are soft, comfy, and placed perfectly side by side, practically begging you to take a seat. Everything looks brand new and spotless, which is a massive upgrade from our previous rides. It's quiet, it's fresh, and it's a total game changer for the Kenyan commute. When I sat down, I thought the bus was full and ready to go, but to my surprise, people just kept boarding.
But unfortunately, in this Matatu, overloading was one of my major problems. Well, the first time when I entered into the Matatu, the seats were full, but I wondered why we were not moving.
I didn't realize those long overhead handrails running down the walkway were meant for standing. This is a total 180 from the last ride. Forget the graffiti and neon lights. This bus is all about the chill vibe, but no loud colors or glowing lights. Check out these massive panoramic windows. They're so big and clear you feel like a tourist on a sightseeing tour, and they even have curtains to block the sun or keep things private at night. I'm feeling so lucky right now. If I had stepped on even 1 minute later, I'd be standing in the aisle. Now the entire middle aisle is packed with people holding on for the ride. It's quiet, it's organized, and it's a completely different side of Nairobi's commute.
But also something that the other Matatus did not have, a speaker for announcement.
Something I've never seen before, an automatic announcer. It tells you exactly how to pay and calls out every stop we hit.
Oh, the ride was so smooth. When we come at a bump, we could not feel the bump, but you could just move a little bit. So I'll say this ride was so comfortable and enjoyable.
This is hands down one of the smoothest rides I've ever been on. Usually, when you hit a bump or a pothole, you're bouncing all over the place, right? But not on this bus. Since it's a high-tech electric bus, it uses a special air cushion system that soaks up every shock before you can even feel it. It's like the road is perfectly flat. And can we talk about the noise or the lack of it? You know how our old fuel-powered Matatus roar and shake when the driver hits the gas? On this bus, you can barely hear a thing. Honestly, if I close my eyes, I'd swear I was gliding through the air on a fancy airplane. Since these buses are brand new, the cushions are like clouds and I have so much legroom. I even leaned my seat back to relax. It's so cozy I could honestly nap.
Overloading was my major problem in this Matatu.
The people standing might have a different take. But for us sitting down, on comfortability, this is a total 10 out of 10.
The ride was so smooth. So comfortability, I'll say I was so comfortable and it's a 10 out of 10. For entertainment, this bus was so silent. We had no music in the Matatu.
The inside of our bus was just so cool and cozy. Everything looked perfectly maintained and sparkling clean. Unlike the usual Matatus, there wasn't a single poster, picture or neon light in sight. It gave off such a prestigious vibe, total class. For that reason, I'm giving the classiness a perfect 10 out of 10. Since we hopped on during the evening rush hour, the price went up to 100 Kenyan shillings, which is approximately 77 cents, depending on the exchange rate. When I weigh that price against the amazing experience and class of the bus, I give the value for money a solid 8 out of 10.
So that's all for our today. That's all for our video today. And I'm so happy that I've tried out the Kenyan Matatu. For everyone out there wishing to try out the Kenyan Matatu, have a go. Try it. You'll enjoy it. But be ready. Also be careful with your phone. For the Kenyan Matatu, theft was one of the things I feared most about. And we came to experience this on the nganya or the full-blown Matatu. Someone's phone was stolen. And we were in the same Matatu with these people. So when you are traveling on Matatu, kindly be careful with your belongings and always be on the lookout. Usikue funzo kwa watu. Don't be the person to suffer for your neighbor to learn. Okay? Just learn it from our video and know that we're traveling in a Kenyan Matatu. You have to be careful with your belongings because theft is everywhere. Uchumi iko juu and everybody is looking for a way to survive. Take care guys and let's meet next time. Until next time, adios muchachos. Bye.